Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're here to take something truly monumental, complex, and, let's be honest, often overwhelming.
And we're going to try to turn it into an actionable roadmap for you.
We are tackling what might be the single most logistically and emotionally intense international move a person can make.
We're talking about Aliyah, the immigration of a Jew back to Israel.
It's an incredible decision, a life-altering one. But the minute you start looking into it, the sheer volume of paperwork, the financial rules, the culture shock, it can create this real crippling fear of the unknown.
So we've pulled together a whole stack of sources. We've got advice from veteran immigrants, post-arrival checklists, detailed tax guides, you name it.
And our mission today is pretty simple.
We want to give you a shortcut, a way to understand what it really takes to make a successful move from that first document all the way to, being settled and actually using your benefits.
So just to set a baseline for everyone, the word Aliyah, it literally means ascent or going up.
Right, and that's why a new immigrant is called an ole.
That language is so key, isn't it?
It's everything. It frames the entire experience. This isn't just changing your address. It's loaded with this profound spiritual and historical expectation.
Okay, let's unpack this. Before we get lost in the mountains of paperwork, let's start where all our sources told us to start.
With the non-negotiables.
Mindset and community. Because if that emotional foundation isn't solid, the bureaucracy will it will crush you.
Absolutely. The people who've done this successfully, they all start with the same piece of advice. Keep a really wide, open mind.
And adjust your expectations.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
We saw this great piece of advice from an immigrant, Eled Geffen. He was so clear about not viewing Aliyah as some kind of cure-all.
Or a flip of the switch.
Exactly. The dream is powerful, but that intense expectation can be the problem. You don't just transform your life by stepping off the plane. It takes serious, hard work.
And he had a really practical tip for that, didn't he?
A brilliant one. Before you even go, make a detailed list of every single reason you're moving.
So when things get tough.
And they will get tough. You pull out that list. It's like an immediate emotional anchor to remind you why you're there.
We should also just hit the fear of failure head on.
Yes. The idea of moving back, Yerida, or descent, it carries this cultural stigma.
But the advice was so clear.
It is not a failure, it's a brave choice. You're prioritizing your own needs if, after giving it a real shot, it's just not working for you or your family.
Speaking of family, the advice for people with kids was pretty direct.
Oh, it's non-negotiable. The kids come first, period.
We saw that example of the Sar family, right? They took 2 separate trips just to find the right school and social environment for their children.
And they settled on Ra'ana because of it. Their whole logic was, if the kids are happy, the parents have a shot at being happy.
And the Aliyah will succeed.
It's that simple.
And that focus on the social side is so critical because the culture shock, it's deep.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, Israelis are incredibly warm people, but the communication style.
It's different. People's voices are raised, but it's not always anger.
Not at all. That's just how a conversation can sound. You have to learn to tell the difference between this is just the culture and, okay, now someone is actually yelling at me.
And it goes beyond just how people talk. You could move into a neighborhood where the religious views, the way people dress, it's all completely different from what you're used to.
It requires active adaptation. You can't just be a passive observer.
Then there's the other big emotional hurdle.
The loneliness.
It's inevitable. Starting over anywhere is tough, but doing it thousands of miles from your support system.
Of course you're going to get homesick.
Yeah.
The practical tip we saw was to get one of those all-you-can-talk international phone lines. It sounds small, but you have to keep those connections alive.
And it's okay to feel alone. You're rebuilding your entire world.
What's so interesting is this trade-off. You give up the familiar.
And hard truth, right? There's no Target, no Trader Joe's. Apartments are smaller, more European.
Exactly. You lose all that. But what you gain, according to almost everyone, is this profound sense of community.
Right. You get the neighborhood vegetable guy who knows your family, the grumpy neighbor who complains about your music but then brings you baked goods for Rosh Hashanah.
That's the trade-up. That feeling that people are actually looking out for you.
And that warmth extends into a real culture of helping. I loved that quote. A near neighbor is better than a distant brother.
It's so true. The advice for new immigrants is to just stifle that urge to be a martyr. Accept the help.
And this is where things like Gemox come in.
Yes. These free loan societies, they're run by communities, by individuals. And you can get everything from baby strollers to wedding dresses. It's a mutual aid system that just works.
It's an amazing support system, But once you step out of that warm community embrace and into a government office,
The whole game changes.
let's talk about the cold reality of the bureaucratic pipeline. Because a friendly neighbor can't help you at the Ministry of Interior.
Indeed. Section 2. If you are even thinking about moving within the next year, the advice is unanimous.
Submit that online application now.
Right now, the whole process takes 3 to 6 months, minimum. Time is your enemy here.
And once you're in that pipeline, it's all about the documents. You need the basics, of course, birth certificates, marriage certificates. Your passport has to be valid for at least a year.
But here's the trap.
The time-sensitive documents.
Criminal background checks and your affidavit of personal status, they're only valid for 6 months.
We read about someone who had to pay for his background check 3 separate times because the process kept getting delayed.
It happens. You have to plan for that possibility.
And then there's the apostille. This isn't just a regular notary.
No, this is described as a notary on steroids.
It's an international authentication that proves the document is real, and it can be a huge pain to get.
A huge pain. It's a real logistical hurdle. You have to start that process early, or it will absolutely become a roadblock.
Okay, let's fast forward. You've done all that. You've gotten your visa. You've landed at Ben Gurion Airport. You get what's called the first day package.
This thing is gold. Guard it with your life.
What's in it?
It's your whole starter kit. You get your 2. Olo, which is your benefits booklet, a temporary ID card, or 2. Zehut, healthcare registration form,
And the first payment of your Sal Klita, the absorption money.
plus an Israeli SIM card. This package unlocks everything else.
So the next 90 days are critical. Starting with the bank, you need an account to get the rest of those Sal Klita payments.
If you're married, you have to open a joint account. Both of you have to be there in person.
And for U.S. citizens, you know the drill. Social Security number, WD-9 form.
All that. But here is the single most important pro tip for banking, especially for couples. Sign the Tofes Arakshut Yamim.
The long life form. Why is that so important?
It sounds a bit morbid, but it prevents the bank account from being frozen if one spouse passes away.
Which would be a bureaucratic nightmare for the surviving spouse?
A massive, agonizing one. This form prevents that.
It seems like the whole banking system is a culture shock in itself.
Oh, it's a complete 180 from North America. Banks can be cashless, there are fees for everything.
So what's the biggest mistake new immigrants make?
Underestimating the fees. You have to go in and ask for fee waivers for the first year. Also, if you're transferring a large sum of money, get a letter proving where it came from beforehand.
Or they'll freeze it.
They'll hold it up under money laundering laws, yeah.
Just as urgent is healthcare. Registering with a Kuput Shalim, one of the health funds.
And the clock is ticking here. That 90-day deadline is everything.
Why?
If you sign up for supplemental insurance, the better plans, within those first 90 days, you get to skip the normal waiting periods.
Which can be up to a year for some services.
Exactly. So if you miss that window, you're basically paying for a service you can't fully use for months. You have to lock that in immediately.
There's also a really important emergency protocol people need to learn.
Yes. Do not just walk into an ER for a minor injury. A stubbed toe, for example.
You get a huge bill.
A massive bill. You need pre-approval from your health fund. Or you need to go to a special urgent care center, a TARM center. The only exceptions are if you're admitted, have a broken bone, or need stitches.
Another key step is the Arnona discount. That's the municipal tax.
Right, and it's paid by the renter, not the owner. As a new immigrant, an OLA, you get a discount on up to 100 square meters.
And the rates vary a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Like 50% in Tel Aviv, but up to 90% in Jerusalem.
But there's a timing hack here.
There is. You can use that discount for any 12-month period in your first 2 years.
Yeah.
But you have to register for it by the 13th month.
If you miss that deadline.
You lose the flexibility. And you could lose months of the benefit entirely. Use the municipal coordinators from groups like Nefesh B'Nefesh to help you with this. That's what they're there for.
Okay, last one for this section, driver's license.
You have 5 years to convert your foreign license. But, and this is a big but, you can only legally drive on it for 1 year from your last entry date.
If you wait longer than that, you're driving illegally.
And your insurance will not cover you in an accident. It's a huge liability.
The good news is if you have at least 2 years of driving history, you can skip the theory test.
So hold on to those old licenses. They're proof.
Okay, so we've covered the emotional prep and the bureaucratic minefield. Now let's get to the part where the state really gives back.
The financial landscape. And specifically, the huge tax advantages.
The financial side can be a real shock at first. We've all heard the joke.
How do you make $1 million in Israel?
Come over with 2 million.
Right. And it's true. Salaries can be lower. Imported stuff is expensive. That pinch is real.
But the state does a lot to balance that out.
It does. Beyond the initial cash from the Sal Klita, you've got huge savings on things like subsidized day school tuition. Health insurance is dramatically cheaper.
Plus government benefits like paid maternity leave, tax breaks for working women.
And don't forget the customs benefits. You get to import your personal household stuff up to 3 shipments in 3 years without paying import tax. That alone saves you a fortune.
But the real game changer, the financial home run, is the 10-year tax holiday.
This is it. This is the single biggest financial incentive. For a full decade, you are exempt from Israeli tax and reporting on your foreign source income.
So just to be clear, if I have a U.S. stock portfolio, the dividends and capital gains, I don't report any of that to Israel for 10 years.
None of it. And that applies to passive income, like stocks, and earned income from a job abroad.
So let's talk about the digital nomad. This seems like a perfect scenario for them, especially if they're a U.S. citizen.
It's an incredible opportunity. Let's walk through it.
Okay.
So on the Israeli side, you use that 10-year tax holiday. All your foreign income is shielded.
Okay, simple enough.
Then, on the U.S. side, you use the foreign earned income exclusion. This lets you exclude a very large portion of your salary from U.S. tax.
So if you combine the two,
You can potentially pay zero income tax in both countries for a decade.
that is a massive strategic advantage.
It's the definition of leveraging the system.
What about that first year? You know, you move mid-year, you're still figuring things out.
That's where the Shnat Histiglet, the grace period, comes in.
Yeah.
If you're in Israel for fewer than 183 days in that first calendar year.
Your remote U.S. income is exempt from Israeli tax for that whole year.
Correct. It gives you incredible financial breathing room while you settle in.
And what about for retirees? How does this apply to them?
The U.S.-Israel tax treaty is key here. It makes U.S. Social Security benefits completely exempt from tax.
In both countries.
In both countries. It protects and maximizes your fixed income, which is a cornerstone for planning your retirement there.
This has been an incredibly deep dive. We've gone from the emotional prep, the need for an open mind and accepting help, to the bureaucratic hacks.
Like those 90-day healthcare and 13-month Arnona deadlines.
All the way to the huge financial leverage you can get, especially that 10-year tax holiday.
And remember, you're not alone in this. Organizations like Nefesh Benefesh are designed for this. They have coordinators on the ground to help you with the forms, with school registration. Use those resources.
In the end, all our sources kept coming back to one idea. The difference between being a spectator and being in the game.
That this is about more than just a new address. It's about belonging, contributing.
And that brings us to our final provocative thought for you to chew on.
If the very language of this move is an ascent, while leaving is a descent, what unexpected constant weight does that spiritual perspective add to every tiny logistical hurdle you face?
Whether it's chasing down an apostle or just arguing about a bank fee.
It's not just moving. It's navigating a profound, generations-old expectation.
Plan ahead, choose wisely, and embrace the adventure. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.